You've heard of Ebola. You've heard of COVID. You've heard of Mpox. But there's one virus that's been here the entire time. Older than all of them, deadlier than most. And somehow we forgot to be afraid of it. In May of 2026, 3 people died on a cruise ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Not from a new virus. Not from something science had never seen. From something that has been living quietly in the walls of the world, waiting for thousands of years. What is Hantavirus? And how did it end up on a luxury cruise ship? The MV Hondius left Ushuaia, Argentina, the southernmost city on Earth, in late April of 2026. 170 passengers, roughly 70 crew. A polar expedition vessel cutting north through the Atlantic toward Cape Verde. Somewhere along the route, the ship stopped at South Georgia Island, a place of raw, staggering wilderness, ice shelves, king penguins, and almost no human beings. Just the kind of ancient, untouched landscape that makes you feel small in the best possible way. What no one thought about, what almost no traveler ever thinks about, is what else lives there. Rodents. Small, unremarkable, ancient creatures, carrying a virus in their bodies that causes them no harm at all. It lives in their urine, their droppings, the fine invisible dust that floats in the air when old nesting material is disturbed. You don't need to be bitten. You just need to breathe in the wrong place at the wrong moment. And somewhere on South Georgia Island, someone did. They didn't feel it yet. The virus is patient. But by mid-ocean, the body begins to lose the argument. Hantavirus is not a new pathogen. It exists on every continent except Australia, carried silently by rodents for millennia. In humans, it causes 2 primary disease syndromes. One attacks the kidneys. One obliterates the lungs. The pulmonary form, Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, can go from first symptom to respiratory failure in under a week. There is no specific antiviral cure. There is no widely available vaccine. Doctors keep the body alive and hope the immune system finds its way. 6 people on board fell seriously ill. 3 died. A 70-year-old man was the first. He died on the ship itself. His body was received at St. Helena, a remote British island in the South Atlantic. His wife was also ill. She was airlifted to a hospital in Johannesburg, South Africa. She died there. A Dutch couple, sources reported, far from home in every possible sense. A 69-year-old British national was fighting for his life in a Johannesburg ICU. Others were being evaluated in Cape Verde as the ship continued north, toward the Canary Islands. By May 3, 2026, the World Health Organization confirmed at least 1 laboratory case and was tracking 5 additional suspected cases. Health authorities from Argentina, South Africa, Cape Verde, Spain, and the United Kingdom were coordinating evacuations and contact tracing in real time. The WHO noted, while hantavirus does not typically spread person to person, rare human-to-human transmission is possible. That single word, possible, activated a global response. Hantavirus doesn't trend. It doesn't spread on planes or in cities. It strikes quietly in wild places 1 person at a time, and the world moves on. The last major outbreak most people remember is the 1993 Four Corners event in the American Southwest. 33 years ago. We forgot, because forgetting is easy when the numbers stay small. A husband and wife boarded the same ship, saw the same ice, breathed the same air in the same wild, beautiful place. And an organism older than language found them both. We travel to feel the full scale of the world. And sometimes the world answers back, in ways we never planned for. The everyman traveler, the one who books the cruise, packs the bag, checks the weather, but never checks the wildlife warnings, is all of us. Not because we are reckless, because we are human, because we trust that the beautiful places are safe, simply because they are beautiful. Hantavirus doesn't care about the view. The MV Hondius is still sailing. The Atlantic is still dark and wide tonight. And somewhere in the frozen wilderness of South Georgia Island, a small, unremarkable creature is going about its life, carrying something ancient in its blood, completely unaware of the grief it left behind. We didn't forget Hantavirus because it went away. We forgot it because it never needed us to remember.